Morning, everybody. My name is Jim Aspel. I'm a board-certified workers' compensation attorney in Farmington, Connecticut. And I wanted to take a minute to explain how a settlement hearing proceeds in the Connecticut Workers' Compensation Commission. It's kind of interesting. In a car accident case, if you and your attorney get to a number you can agree with the insurance company and you want to settle your case, you simply do that. You sign off on a release, you send that to the insurance company, and they send you a check. The court doesn't typically get involved in that process, and it's between you, your lawyer, and the lawyer for the insurance company. For reasons that are really sort of unknown to me, quite honestly, in Connecticut, if you're trying to settle a workers' compensation case, the process is different. We do need to get the approval of the workers' compensation administrative law judge. They have to approve the settlement between you and your employer before you can close out your workers' compensation case. So the process for that goes something like this. There's obviously a period of negotiation back and forth between us and the lawyer for your employer's insurance company. Ultimately, we agree on a figure that's acceptable to you, it's acceptable to the insurance company, and everybody wants to settle your case. Where it goes from there is that the insurance company lawyer typically will prepare documents which are called stipulations. It's a 5 or 6 page document, sets out who's representing who in terms of who the attorneys of record on the case are. It recites the actual injury or injuries that you're closing out by way of the agreement. It indicates whether or not the case was accepted or it was a contested case. It indicates whether or not they think that they paid you everything that they owe you, or whether or not everybody is acknowledging that if we leave the case open, there's going to be future exposure. So in any event, there's a lot of things that get set out in that stipulation document. So we get that in from the insurance company lawyer. Then the Workers' Compensation Commission has a questionnaire. I think it's up to 15 questions at this point. Various things about whether or not you're still working there, whether you have health insurance, whether you have a new job, whether you're a Medicare recipient, whether there's a child support lien, things like that. So we fill out that questionnaire on your behalf. And then there's an additional state form that sets out the fact that once the administrative law judge approves this settlement that everybody's worked out, that's going to be the end of the road for your workers' compensation case. It's closed. You can't come back and make any additional claims for benefits. That includes claims for lost time, medical bills, any permanent partial disability you might be entitled to, any increase in any permanent partial disability that you've already been paid, any 31308A discretionary benefits, or anything else. So they want to make absolutely certain that you understand that once the judge approves this settlement, that's it for your case. You're closed. You can't come back and make any additional claims for benefits as a result of that injury with that employer. Now, if you have a new injury with a different employer down the road, obviously you can bring a new claim against that employer, but as far as the claim that you're settling goes, that's going to be it. No more money is going to be paid to you outside of the settlement. So we have the settlement documents, the stipulation, the questionnaire, and the state form explaining to you what it is in fact you're closing out. We then send that into the Workers' Compensation District Office that's been handling your file. If it's a Hartford file, we send it to Hartford. If it's a Bridgeport file, we send it to Bridgeport. The comp office then schedules what's called a settlement approval hearing, or stip approval hearing, whatever vernacular you want to use. That's typically scheduled within a week, 10 days maybe, when we get the paperwork in. In the meantime, in the Workers' Compensation Office, there's a paralegal that's going over the documents, making sure that it was done correctly, making sure that it lists the correct date of injuries and all that type of thing. Once the paralegal has reviewed it in the Workers' Comp Office, they in turn schedule it for a hearing. Most often those are done first thing in the morning. The hearing is something that you're going to actually have to attend. Ordinarily, with a workers' compensation matter, if you retained an attorney, the attorney is going to attend an informal or pre-formal hearing without you. You don't need to be there. That's kind of the point of getting the lawyer. The only time you typically have to go is if you're going to have a formal hearing or a trial in the Workers' Compensation Commission. Settlement approval is a little bit different because the judge, the commissioner, wants to make sure that they canvass you, that they ask you a series of questions, and you understand that when he or she approves this settlement, that's going to be the end of the road for the case, and they can't say that enough. When they approve it, that's done. So the hearing Typically, it takes about 5 minutes. We sit down at the table with the workers' compensation judge. The lawyer for the insurance company is typically there. They don't have to be occasionally. They will waive their appearance in advance, but more often than not, they're going to be there. The judge, well, they all have different styles as to how they go about approving these settlements, but typically they're going to explain to you that you understand that you're closing out the case. They're going to explain to you what benefits that you're giving up. They're going to explain to you that you do have the right to have a trial on any contested issues with your workers' compensation case, and that when they approve the settlement, the stipulation, that's it. You're waiving those rights for any future opportunity to come back and present your case for that particular injury to the Workers' Comp Commission. So they go over that, it takes about 5 minutes. They want to make sure that you absolutely understand what you're doing. The workers' compensation judge is going to ask you whether or not they want you to approve the settlement or whether or not you want them to approve the settlement. Obviously, you want to say yes if that's in fact the case. They're going to explain to you that your attorney is entitled to a 20% attorney's fee. That's the typical workers' compensation fee in Connecticut. The judge is going to explain to you that once the settlement agreement is approved, the insurance company has 20 days to put the payment in the mail to your attorney's office. So not 20 days for you to get it, 20 days for them to actually put the payment in the mail. So there's a little bit of confusion about that. So it can typically go on beyond the 20 days, but that's the general rule anyways. It's a little bit different if you're settling a case with the state of Connecticut second injury fund, but typically for any standard employer, they have 20 days to get the payment in the mail, and they're going to explain to you that the settlement is tax-free. At that point, that's going to be the end of the hearing. The judge is going to give you a copy of the settlement that they have signed off on. They're going to give a copy to your attorney, and they're going to give a copy to the insurance company attorney. They are going to keep a copy in the Workers' Compensation Commission file as a matter of permanent record, and at that point, everybody will go on their separate ways, and hopefully you'll have your check in short order. So that's typically how the process goes. It's not difficult in any way. It's just that they want to make sure that you understand that you're closing out your case, and they want to explain to you the nuances of how the payment is going to be made and that sort of thing. If you have any additional questions about the settlement approval process, or you need any help with settling your workers' compensation claim, I'm more than happy to talk to you. We're available in Farmington. Our telephone number is 860-523-8783. I'd invite you to subscribe to our channel. We drop workers' compensation videos fairly regularly on topics pertaining to Connecticut workers' compensation. If you like this video or found it helpful, please, I'd appreciate it if you could give it a thumbs up and like the video. If you have any additional questions, we have a lot of information on our website. It's www.aspellaw.com. Hope you have a good day, and thanks.